We've got the right to choose, and you know we always lose, and we have no rights. This is our song. Do 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 do. We're not gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it anymore. Do 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 do. The pessimist version of that song. Hello, everybody. Hypocrite Paul in the flesh, here in front of all of you, to bathe in my own hypocrisy. I figured we'd talk about that a little bit tonight. When it comes to like where people fall on it, whether the original sentiment intended in the tweet or whether or not I should be the person making the tweet, doesn't really matter to me. But more Twitter drama. I mean, it's not really drama. Like for me, Twitter is like a dumping ground. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's not, drama is something that I have to deal with my like family, you know, like that's drama. Twitter is, I don't know. Twitter's something else. Paul got called out. Ooh, Lord, you got served on Twitter. Oh boy. What happened? Well, let's wait for a minute. Let's because I know that other people are going to come in and be like, oh, you can talk about the Twitter thing. Let's wait until let's give it 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll launch into it, all right? I just don't want to have to be repeating it a bunch of fucking times and shit and hearing about it all goddamn night. I want to be able to refer people to like, hey, rewind it to like 20 minutes ago or some shit.
This is the time for people that don't give a shit about the Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would venture to say that most people don't. But, you know, it's a fun, like I said, it's a fun little dumping ground. How's my night going? It's winding down quietly. The frogs are starting to do their thing out here. The ribbits are ribbiting.
Are you getting jelly that Dad's using your ball?
Oh, yeah, I'm rubbing my foot with your ball. There you go. Have your ball back. Give it to your mom. She'll throw it. Did you ever eat durian? Sure, I'll give it a try. I've heard it's real stinky, but it tastes good. So I'd probably like try not to breathe through my nose and then eat it and see if I could get it down. I bet it tastes pretty good.
You're all done? Okay, you can use it as a foot roller again.
But then he's going to want to play with it again. Can't wait for more Lido Joker. I know. Me neither. It was so good the first time, you know, that I can't see how it's not going to be better this time. Oh, that water is good. I feel like maybe I've been a little dehydrated lately. I feel like I haven't been sipping the water hard enough. I can remember to sip that water constantly. Gulp it if I feel like it. Oh, man, dude, good icy cold water with some good soft ice that's at the right temperature. It just feels so good going down. So satisfying going down. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff right there. That's the stuff right there. Oh man, those 3 gulps are the best gulps ever.
The diet. Someone mentioning Diet Coke is interesting. We just watched that documentary on Dr. Wiley that tried to get both saccharin and Coke banned.
It's true. The Poison Squad documentary. The guy that like basically established the FDA. Because back in the day, they used to be able to put whatever the fuck they wanted in your food, basically.
Borax, formaldehyde.
He won't. He's going to be in it for like 6 minutes. It'll be disappointing, not enough to redeem him, and it will still suck. Yes. Yes, you're right. I love the people that think that Zack Snyder is going to save this movie with a recut. It's like, no, this movie didn't need to be recut. It just needed to be cut. I haven't seen the Justice League movie, and I won't see this one either. I don't care. I don't want to see Batfleck. I don't think that Ben Affleck is Batman. I don't buy it. I don't want to see fucking Superman abused yet again. I don't care enough to see fucking Wonder Woman, who I think is the most interesting of the Justice League, by the way, because like the movie that is her origin movie, I think is the best movie in the DC universe, period. Outside of Joker. We're talking about the current one that's being used.
Did you ever see Sucker Punch?
No, I don't think so.
It's like where the girl like gets taken away into an insane asylum and has this huge dream sequence where they're like this fighting squad of sexy girls.
Cool. Maybe I have seen that.
That's how I was kind of introduced to Zack Snyder. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it definitely does suffer from not having a cohesive story.
It sound after you described it, it sounds familiar. So maybe I have seen it, but it's been many, many moons.
It came out in 2011, so.
Yeah. The Watchmen is a Zack Snyder movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It had its moments of like, but you know, for a superhero movie, it was something new and fresh and gritty and dark. And why didn't they use the Joker from the Joker? Probably licensing problems or some shit. Like the studio that made the Joker movie or whatever didn't license the use of that character, or Joaquin just refused to fucking play it. Like he's at the point now where he doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. So maybe they approached him and were like, "Hey, we want you to come in and do the like 6 minutes of extra footage for the Zack Snyder cut of this piece of shit turd movie." And he probably told them like, "Stick it up your ass." So they called Jared Leto instead. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'd be glad to come back and suck at the Joker."
A lot of people were comparing his Joker to Manson.
I mean, they're definitely took the feedback that the whole like iced out grill face tat gangsta Joker wasn't working, and so they're really trying to go to give him something else. I mean, he looks way closer to the fucking what you call it, the Dark Knight Joker now. I mean, it just looks like they're like, "Oh yeah, he's that now." Okay. Whatever. SoundCloud Joker, yeah. What fucking moron in the boardroom thought that would work? I don't know, dude. I don't know, bro.
He's gonna be hit with the kids.
Yeah, dude, the kids are gonna love it. The kids are in love with Jared Leto. They loved his Joker. It's like, no. Maybe they did, but no. No, anyway. Like, Marvel didn't get popular as it did and go for fucking 20 straight years in its first iteration of its cinematic universe because it appealed to kids. It appealed to kids and adults alike.
Like, we were talking about my dad's absolute favorite character was Iron Man, and that's a lot of the audience of Marvel is people that loved the comics as a kid and
Sure.
wanted to see it come to life.
That was me. I read the fucking X-Men and fucking Avengers. I read the whole Infinity Gauntlet series when it was a comic. The Infinity War series when it was a comic. Like, it was, you know what I mean? There's like that nostalgia factor that they've never been able to tap into. Now, I wasn't a DC kid, so they don't have that in with me. But TJ was, and he seems to feel the same way about the DCU as I do. Like, TJ was a heavy reader of DC comics. I never was. And yet we both feel the same about the DCU. It's just listless and lifeless and shitty and derivative. It's like they're trying to jump to the end game of the Marvel Cinematic Universe without the fucking 20 years worth of establishing films. Like, the reason the Marvel Cinematic Universe epic conclusions and epic arcs worked is because they had all of these characters established, most of them at least, in their own films. Multiple films in some cases. Iron Man had fucking what? 3 different films that were just his. The Avengers had a number of films that were just about them. Then you had the fucking Space Patrol or whatever they were called. I can't remember what their names were. Guardians of the Galaxy. There you go.
They had that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, they got the S.H.I.E.L.D. people, and they had they had all this shit feeding the same fucking epic conclusion. Like, Justice League. Like, if they wanted to do a Justice League movie, they needed to build it up. So they needed to do really good establishing movies with each of the heroes fighting against each of the villains that would eventually form the Legion of Destruction, or the Legion of Doom, I think it's called. Right? Because that was what the Justice League was about. The Justice League fought the Legion of Doom. The Legion of Doom was this conglomeration of all these super villains that got together, and the Justice League got together to fight them. So why didn't they fucking... Oh, yeah. You know, why didn't they push it down that road? Movies for each of these that were good, well-written, establishing movies. Make us care about each one of these characters individually, and then have them all get together in a big epic battle against all these well-established villains. It seems pretty fucking simple, but the people in charge of the DCU wanted to skip the line. DCU, DCU. Because they know that it wouldn't work and that it would hemorrhage money. So they decided a lukewarm Avengers rip of was their best bet. Well, it wasn't. It's going to suck. And the Zack Snyder recut is not going to save it. It's still going to suck. It's going to suck. It's going to suck. It's going to suckity suck. You heard it here first. It's going to suck. Why is Cyborg in the Justice League? I think he might have been in the Justice League, but he's the worst fucking character design I've ever seen. Oh my God, man. Just a CG nightmare of a fucking character. All of the fucking nuance of the performance for that character is just stripped out of it in favor of this gaudy fucking CG bullshit. It's just fucking lazy, nonsense looking character. Oh, yeah. Good choice. That is a warm fucking sweater right there. I've had that sweater for probably almost as long as you've been alive, honestly.
I I doubt that.
I don't know. Let's think about
Did
it.
you have it in high school?
I had it right after high school.
Okay, so not as old.
Not maybe not quite as long as you, but that sweater's almost as old as you.
My first car was 4 years older than me.
Hey.
94 Honda Accord that didn't have AC.
Oof. Good evening, Paul. So are there enough people here? Do you guys want to address the drama, the Twitter drama? You want me to explain the Twitter drama, or do you not even give a fuck? I'll let you decide. I mean, not really, but people are calling it drama or whatever, so we can call it. I had a take on Twitter today that was not well received. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh drama. Well, that's not why we're here, but as soon as I came in here, like 5 people asked me about it, and I said, wait. Let's wait until, YouTube blasts out its fucking Paula's live shit so I don't have to talk about it all goddamn fucking night. I can go blah, 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 blah. All rise. Court against Paul is now in session. So, earlier today on Highdeology, I made the take that one of the first things that I saw this morning was a bunch of memes of Rush Limbaugh roasting in hell and people being happy and doing the little party smileys and whatnot because Rush Limbaugh was dead, right? Now, I participated in such things close to people's death dates before. And so I made a take on Twitter. I was like, this is kind of ghoulish, the way people are just like, yay, Rush is dead. And somebody went back like 8 or 9 months, found me doing basically the same thing to Herman Cain. I think the tone was different, but whatever. I'm not going to fucking argue, too much in favor of it. And that led me to, talk on Twitter openly about how, like, look, my position on this shit has kind of changed in the last fucking year or so. Like, yeah, I've said a lot of fucking mean jokes about people that just croaked in my career. And you can throw those in my face if you want to. But, we're at the forefront of a year where people have, like, 500,000 people in this country have died. Or just shy of it. We've seen the partisan rancor in this country rise to a level of, like, full-blown insurrection. Where, like, a Confederate flag was carried onto the rotunda, which didn't even happen during the fucking Civil War. So a flag of a foreign rebel nation was carried onto the rotunda of our fucking Capitol building. And it kind of changed my perspective. It kind of gave me a little taste of some of my own medicine, maybe. Because I looked at how angry those fucking people were. And then I looked at Twitter this morning and looking at how people were celebrating somebody dying of lung cancer. And I thought of all of the people to whom Rush Limbaugh is an important figure, who they looked up to, and them seeing all of lefty Twitter like pissing all over his grave. Not just like there's a difference too to me, by the way, and I should point this out, between pointing out the bad things a person did in their life. Like Rush Limbaugh was a bigot. Rush Limbaugh didn't like gay people. Rush Limbaugh was a force for negativity. Rush Limbaugh was a driving force behind neoconservatism. I don't have a problem with anybody saying shit like that. It's the fuck him, I'm glad this motherfucker's dead and roasting in hell. Like, you have to take into account what people that are on the other side of the aisle are thinking when you're doing that. And just because they do it every time somebody on the left dies doesn't make it right for us to fucking do it. So yeah, I've said a lot of shit in the past I'm not horribly fucking proud of. I'm a work in progress like every other human being on the planet. Okay, dark side Phil. Yeah, dude, I'm DSP.
You got Zonster and Trim already met.
Oh, God. I'm going to get dressed down by Zonster now. Like, you're not going to catch me making any fucking excuses for shitty things that Rush Limbaugh said during his career, shitty takes that he had, shitty positions that he pushed. He pushed a lot of anti-immigration shit. He pushed a lot of anti-gay shit. He pushed a lot of anti-civil rights shit. Pushed a lot of pro-war shit. I don't think he was a good person. That doesn't mean that I'm going to whip my dick out and piss all over his grave on the day that he died. I don't want to be that kind of fucking person anymore. I've done such things in the past. I don't beat myself up over it. I know that I was, in a sea of voices that were doing the same thing. I don't want to be in that cacophony of voices that's cackling because somebody died of fucking lung cancer anymore. So I'm not going to do it. It's not even that it's tacky. For me, I don't know, man. The way things have taken a turn in this country has changed the way that I want to engage with people in general. Like, I can't stop the fact that I have a dark sense of humor, but let's talk about that for a second. A dark sense of humor comes from almost uniformly a deep and abiding self-loathing. It's what makes a dark sense of humor funny. It's what allows a person like me to take a dark situation and make a dark joke about it. Because underlying all of that is a deep and abiding self-fucking hate. And you project that onto people when you do it in a partisan way. When you walk out onto a public stage and you throw confetti on a corpse that's not even cold yet, you're alienating a whole group of people with whom you have immense class similarity when it comes to the problems that you face. I guess our Chipotle is here, honey.
Think you're gonna want any of it?
No, not right now.
Just put it away.
Sure. Thank you, baby. Imagine 2011 Paul or even 2016 Paul listening to this. Man, if I was the same dude I was in 2011, I'd be ashamed to come before you. What a profound lack of self-introspection and fucking personal change that shows. Thank goodness that 2011 Paul would listen to this and not fucking recognize it or whatever the fuck. "2011 Paul might have tap danced on Rush Limbaugh's grave, although I don't know that he necessarily would have. I told you guys earlier that I spent a lot of my childhood. My dad's a fucking conservative, and I spent a lot of my childhood listening to Rush Limbaugh. And say what you want about it, like, he was an innovator in a field that's now dominated by people that are all doing a Rush Limbaugh impersonation. Say what you want about his fucking positions. They sucked. He was a piece of shit. I'm for that. I'm just not for that in a way to, like, rub salt in the wound with people that have class solidarity with you. Like, what's the point of that? Would 2011 Paul blah, blah, blah be ashamed of you? I don't give a fuck what 2011 Paul would think. I mean, the change in opinion ties in largely with the idea of class solidarity, and it ties in largely. I don't know if you were here when I started talking about it, Zonster, but I don't mind rewinding a little bit. It ties in largely with me not wanting, like, I want to be a better person than that. And to me, personally, it does nothing but harm to make fun of somebody who just croaked a fucking lung cancer. My aunt died of lung cancer 2.5, 3 years ago. My aunt wasn't a fucking right-wing demagogue, but she probably held a lot of positions that you guys would call right-wing.
Maybe she listened to
And,
him?
huh?
You think she listened to him?
There's a good chance she did. And let me tell you something. When she croaked, the entire internet blew up about how glad they were that my Aunt Sue was dead. That would have fucked on me, even though I didn't agree with her. I want to hang around for this, but I have fallen madly in love, and I doubted it was possible. That being said, please take some money. I will see you soon. Well, congratulations for being madly in love. Look at you. Is the left so deprived of political victories that we have to piss on a warm corpse? Are the people who are celebrating so hungry for change? I don't know. People were right to bring up my relatively recent tweets that seem to contradict the position. And I have no problem saying that I don't want to be that kind of person anymore. I'm not going to go erase the tweets, pretend they don't happen or didn't ever happen, or fucking, try and come up with some logical gymnastics to justify the way I was. I think it was shitty of me to piss on a warm corpse every time that I did it, especially for political reasons. Now, there's a difference to me in pissing on a warm corpse and waiting a few years and making a dark joke about somebody dying. But yeah, I don't want to participate in that anymore. I don't want to be another divisive spike shooting shrapnel at the right who share a lot of class solidarity with me. I want to foster a sense of fucking cohesiveness in America that I see ripping itself apart in a partisan way. And I want that cohesiveness to be built around labor, which is a space where it doesn't matter that fucking Rush Limbaugh died or not. That's all. Did you see Biden's post about wanting to create more well-paying union jobs? Hey, if he does it, good on him. I'll give him a nice fucking thumbs up for it. Yep. It's a back and forth. And what does it get us other than partisan rancor? When some important figure on the left croaks, the right memes it all in our faces and tap dances on the dirt on the fresh grave. Somebody on the right croaks, the left memes all over in their faces, pisses on the fresh grave. I mean, what is it? What does that accomplish? In a world that's tearing itself apart, in a world that we need class solidarity and fucking labor solidarity more than ever in the history of the United States. What does that do other than satisfy your fucking venal need to, I don't know, fucking be right about something because somebody croaked? I don't get it. I don't want to be that. It sucks that I have been that in the past. And I'm going to do my best to fucking not be that in the future.
I think the main point I saw come up a lot was that he himself had shit on a lot of other people's deaths.
Yeah. I mean, part of empathy is not necessarily treating a person how they treated you. It's treating a person with a baseline fucking dignity that you'd give any fucking human being. And as shitty as the things that Rush Limbaugh said might have been, I don't think that you're justified in being a gleeful fucking ghoul because he died of lung cancer. I didn't say his death was a fucking bad thing. Nor am I making excuses for any fucking thing that he said. Jason coming in here with the swagger, dude. Good evening, losers, he says. What the fuck, Jason? Walks in with the swagger in his step, man. Ice on my neck, yeah. Yep. Jason is a Chad amongst virgins, dude. The Chad Jason versus the virgin chat, dude. Your presence always seems to derail. That's what I'm saying, dude. A Chad can't help but derail everything when he walks in a room, you know? A virgin, nobody notices when he walks in the room. But a Chad, psh, every head in the place goes, huh? Is it ever okay to be happy if someone's dead? Because when Jeffrey Dahmer was murdered in prison, I was actually kind of sad. I wanted more experts to study him and get his thoughts. That type of thought process is not popular amongst people. And it involves baseline human empathy. If you want an example of this, look at the Jeffrey Dahmer episode that we did, in which I tried to tell a humanizing story about Jeffrey Dahmer, not to excuse the horrible fucking things that he did, so that we could try and understand what makes a person like him. I don't believe that you're going to understand Rush Limbaugh by taking a shit on his grave and fucking off everybody that believed in him or followed him or respected him. You want to understand how Rush Limbaugh affected the national discourse, it's better to point out the bad things that he did in a consistent way and be a little introspective and try and understand what it was that he said that resonated with these people. Darkly fascinating and tragic, Zonster. Like, honestly, he's a tragic fucking figure. He really is. He slipped through every crack.
I'm talking about Dahmer.
Yeah.
Can't have my secrets.
The things that Dahmer did could have been prevented with the right kind of intervention. I've actually seen the movie My Friend Dahmer. If you enjoyed that, Zonster, I cannot recommend enough that you pick up the graphic novel that it's based on by Durf Back Durf. It's really fucking amazing. Even if you're not into graphic novels, I recommend you pick it up. It's a very humanizing work, which I think is important to do with these big boogly woogly type of characters like Dahmer and Gacy and, yeah, I'm going to invoke it, Hitler. It's important to understand these people. What made them? How and why did they do what they did? Wario Judah, dude. most people don't want to take the time to address the underlying reasons for people becoming what they are. It's easier to demonize and focus on the superficial. If I mukbang with you guys, are you going to be pissed off? I don't care. I'm going to go get my Chipotle. I'm going to nibble at it while it's still warm. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. I might not eat this whole thing, but I got a bowl, which is a smart thing to do. Do you like Primus, being a 90s kid and all? I do. We just talked about Primus a couple of shows ago. But yes, I was a 90s kid and a fan of Primus. Oh, this looks good. It smells good, too. Pardon me while I dig in. Yep. That's a good. What am I eating? I'm eating a bowl from Chipotle. I had a chicken black beans. I'll show you guys here in what. I think I can show you guys here. Let me try it the other way. Here it is. Chicken with black beans and rice and lettuce and green salsa. That's the stuff right there. That's the what have you. What episode did you discuss Primus? It wasn't that long ago. I can't really tell you, though. I know I make a lot of these. It was the last couple of days. It was not that long ago. I prefer the texture and the taste of black beans to pinto beans in these Chipotle things. Like I got nothing against pintos, but for whatever reason, these Chipotle things, I really like the flavor and texture of the black beans over the pintos. So I always get the black beans. That's not bad. I think Chipotle gets kind of a bum rap, yo. Like, it's pretty decent food. Nothing special, but pretty simple. My favorite Primus song is Mr. Crinkle. That big old viola or something, whatever he's playing. That big old bass fucking boom, 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 boom. Shit was crazy. I'd never heard a song like that in my fucking life. Yeah, I was telling him, Fanatic Monkey. We talked about Primus just the other day. I think the video was done in one take, if I'm not mistaken. It's pretty amazing. Do you eat Jamaican food? Jamaican me crazy. I don't know. I would try it. I don't think I've ever had the occasion. Like, what is Jamaican food? Jerk chicken? I think I've had jerk chicken before. That's Jamaican, right? That's a little Jamaican something. Nom, 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 indeed. All right. I think I've had enough of this. So I'm going to wrap it up for later. My stomach is sending me that signal that I should stop eating. That's the good thing about these burrito bowls, is that you can just pop the top back on this bad boy and you got another meal. I'll be right back. I'm going to go put this in the fridge where it belongs. Back in the fridge where it belongs. With Chipotle chips. Mr. Crinkle, tell me why. Come on, Mr. Crinkle, tell me why. Come on, Mr. Crinkle, tell me why. Sorry that took a little longer than I wanted it to. I had the last little mini Coke, Diet Coke out of the fridge, and I had one of those ring things. And I had to cut it up so it didn't end up in a fucking around a turtle's neck or some shit. So I had to find my scissors, which took me a minute. But I got it done. Got it done. You should too. Don't throw those rings in the trash. Just cut them up real quick so they don't end up around some poor bird's neck. Caffeinated, Paul. I mean, this is really the only caffeine I've had today. A sip of Diet Coke. A little sip of Diet Coke. Coke Zero is better than Diet Coke. I disagree. I'm not an evangelist of Diet Coke or anything, but I like me some Diet Coke. That's my choice. It's the one I like. Yep. Love that Diet Coke. ICP is basically the mob. They run the streets. Really? They do? Soda orientation is a birth thing, yeah. I agree. I agree, Marshall, 100%. I bet I could taste the difference between a Tab and a Diet Coke. Would you take a Diet Coke sponsorship? Maybe. Maybe baby chicken and gravy. Can you remember the first sip of Coke you ever took? No, I cannot. Happened too early in my life, I'm sure. Back when I could travel, Coke Zero or Diet Coke is usually what I got on planes. Yep. You get a Diet Coke. They usually give you this size of Diet Coke, too. I got plain-sized Diet Cokes. Because I have found that a little bit of Diet Coke like this is all I need. I don't need a big, giant 28-ounce Diet Coke. I get a little sipperino of Diet Coke. A story from when I was 15? Ooh. Fuck me. What happened to me when I was 15? Man. Where was I when I was 15? 95. Would have been in high school. Probably a sophomore in high school. I mean, I've told you guys a lot of stories from when I was 15 going on 16.